Here with the driver of the Quaker State Chevy, getting ready for the Quaker State 400 presented by Walmart here in Atlanta at Echo Park Speedway. I almost said it again there. Daniel Suarez. We're just back from Mexico City. All right, so you don't even have time to get settled, and you're already doing media tours for the race. Instead of asking, what about your home track? Now you're getting to talk to people that aren't familiar with the sport a lot of times. So what's it like trying to explain it to not someone like me, but someone that just covers all media?
I enjoy it because, you and I, we may have very similar perspective on racing. You follow it every single day, every single weekend. But these people, that they do the weather, that they follow baseball and things like this, they have different questions and they have different, concerns and doubts about, what we do, how we do it. Do you eat? Do you go to a restroom? How do you get inside the car? It's going to be raining. Do you guys race in the rain?
Yeah.
You know those questions, those
Yeah.
answers, right?
Yeah.
Well, they don't. And I think that is very important to educate, new people of what we do for a living. I always tell people that the only thing that I don't like about racing is that it's a very difficult sport to get in. If
Yes.
you want to play soccer, you want to play baseball, you want to play football, I think it's way more difficult. So unfortunately, a lot of people doesn't have the opportunity to experience what it feels, what it feels to drive a race car. And that's the part that I wish, a lot of people get to experience. So we have an easier time educating people what it feels like.
And that is a lot of fun. My friend Taylor here running the camera is a brand new race fan, and it's been fun trying to explain it to her. So we're back from Mexico City. When you look back at the weekend, the Cup race, you finished 19th, but you came from worst to first on Saturday. When you had that moment in qualifying before the Xfinity race and you're starting in the back, did you go, oh no, the dream is falling apart? Or when you started that race, did you think the same as if you were starting seventh, like I'm going to win this thing?
Listen, everything happens for a reason. And I think that the story of winning the race and starting from the back and doing all that, I think it has a better flavor than if it was starting from third or fourth or fifth. The primary car, even though the primary car was a very good car, something was wrong with the brakes since lap one in practice.
Interesting.
And I mentioned it to the team. I wasn't 100% certain on it because I don't have a lot of experience with Xfinity cars, especially with the junior cars. I've never been in these cars before in my life, so I didn't know if it was normal or not. And then as I run more laps, I say, guys, this is not normal. I mean, to the point that I have to go after practice, have a conversation with Justin Allgaier and with Connor Steelers to talk about the brakes because my brakes didn't feel right, and then in qualifying,
they didn't feel right.
They didn't feel right. But I believe that something was going to happen either in qualifying or in the race, and I'm thankful that things happened in qualifying, and I was able to recover myself in the race. The team did an amazing job building another fast car, and it was not really fast enough to give them a fight and win.
I know you got a lot of stops here, so I got to ask you about Atlanta. And that was magical in Mexico. There's nothing I can say to describe that anymore than what it was. It was unreal. So coming up here at Echo Park Speedway, a lot of people have, like SVG, the one Mexico. He has the road courses circled on his calendar. With you having now won in Atlanta, and you had a second place finish in the summer of 23, you were contending to win back this spring. Is Atlanta circled as, hey man, this is like really one of my biggest tickets to the playoffs, or do you approach it like every other race?
It's one of my good tickets.
Okay.
I don't think I'm not gonna say that this is my only ticket because honestly, in road course racing, we have a lot of road course racing still, like 3 more races before the playoffs. I believe that I can win any of them. And then we're gonna be contending. Dover is coming up. It's one of my favorite racetracks. Pocono, we have had very good runs there in the past. Positions, top 3s. So we have good opportunity. We just have to execute and put the whole race together.
And then lastly, people have gotten to learn more about you and your pets and your amazing wife Julia in the NASCAR Full Speed documentary or Full Throttle documentary on Netflix. Have you gained any fans or gotten maybe different interactions with fans since then, since they found, thinking pets? I'm thinking your love for VW buses, and I'm also thinking about how intense Julia is on the, I mean that in a good way, on the pit box.
Yeah.
Have you is your interaction with fans changed now they've gotten to know you more?
It has, and that was the goal of this because I believe that most people knows who I am as a racing driver. Before this documentary, not a lot of people knew who I was as a person. They only knew the version of the weekends.
Yes.
And I believe that this show is showing people what I like to do, where I grew up, how is my family, my love for animals, my wife Julia, and these kind of things. And I believe that a lot of people, a lot of persons out there, they realize that we have way more things in common than what they thought. And that's a beautiful thing, right? That someone that you admire, someone that you follow, then you realize, hey, I have those shoes, or I like to work out in the mornings too. I have that for breakfast, and I love pets the way he does, or things like that. And then you start to connect that person, not just as a fan, but also in the personal level.
That's a great point there. Well, we thank you so much for connecting with us in person here on the 5 to Go podcast. Good luck at Echo Park Speedway. We will definitely be watching that, and we'll be calling it on PRN too.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Daniel Suarez, driver of the number 9 Quaker State Chevrolet.